What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. And I'm your host, Dwayne Stein, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority. And this is your home show where for 9+ years we've been providing education options on what will or is your largest investment and most valuable asset, your home. This is your home show. If you're new to the show, welcome to the Gumbo Nation. We're glad to have you here. We think you're going to like what you get every single week when it comes to your most valuable asset. Hey, this week, we're going to take our first segment. We'll talk about Rate Watch, but our 10th annual, super excited. We've got Jason Fontenelle, local fantasy football guru. Is going to be in studio. This is our annual show. Where we take a little break from just everything that's going on market-wise and then help you win some money in some other ways. I know fantasy football is a big, popular thing going on right now, so it's Labor Day weekend, and that means fantasy football here at Mortgage Gumbo. So he'll be in studio shortly, so excited to have him in once again. Look forward to getting his insight on all the top players. Who should you get? Big show. I know a lot of you look forward to it. So super, super excited about that. So he should be arriving shortly. So glad there. Market-wise, listen, lots going on. Let's talk about mortgages real quick. We are seeing a pickup in activity. Phones are ringing. People are getting excited. And it's because you're hearing about the Fed cutting rates. Here's what I want to tell you. Mortgage rates have been getting cut for over a month now. So for all of you who are sitting on the sideline going, hey, I'm going to wait. I want to wait and see what the Fed does. You're like everybody else, and you're not going to be ahead of the game. You want to get ahead of the game because the Fed cutting rates, those are your federal funds rates. Those are your short-term rates, okay? Will there have some impact on mortgage rates? Sure, you may see a little bit of a runoff there, but mortgage rates do what? They follow inflation. And according with the Fed's telling us, things are getting better and inflation is getting under control. So that's why we've seen mortgage rates start to dip since the beginning of July. So when you're looking at that, those are the things right now that you've got to be looking at. So, hey, do you have a refinance? Have you purchased a home in the last 2 years? Then maybe you want to reach out to Mortgage Gumbo. Give me a call. Let's chat. Let's see if refinancing is the right thing for you. It's making a lot more sense today than it has over the last 6-7 months, obviously, because, hey, what was the purpose? Was there really any value? Right? Well, now, hey, we're locking people this week in the 5s. That's right, folks, 5s. So, when you're looking at doing a refinance, we're getting into 5s. You're looking at purchases, depending on some certain things, and if you want to look at discounts, all that, 5s are starting to become in play a tad here, okay? So those are the things now that's creating excitement, but you've got a lot of pent-up demand. Okay? In July, pending home sales was the lowest it's been in forever. And when I say forever, it means a really long time. Okay? It was down over 5%. And you want to know why? Well, because people are sitting on the side. There's a lot going on, right? We've got, when you start looking at it, what do we have? We've got elections, higher rates. All those things have been elevated, so it's kind of keeping people on the sidelines. That's why you're also still seeing home values are going up. Home appreciation is still going up. That's why buying now versus waiting may be something that is going to benefit you more than less when all the competition comes out. And then, oh, by the way, these new changes to everything that is going on when it comes to the realtors. It is like stepping on an antpile. Right now, if you are, so you're excited about buying, you're hearing rates are going down, you're finally ready to get out and buy, and then you're like, wait, what do you mean? What's this new changes? What are these new rules? I may have to pay my realtor? What does that mean? We're getting all those calls. If there's a question you got there and you're looking at purchasing, we can help you get those calls answered for sure. So there is a lot going on. And our goal here at Mortgage Gumbo is to make sure that you've got education and options. You know exactly what is going on. And we try to do it in a fun way, a real way, and, just kind of keep it real, so to speak, as the young kids would call it. So good stuff there. So, again, if you're just joining us, we're going to have our next segment. Jason Fontenelle, who is a local fantasy football expert, is going to be in studio. Love having him in every single week to talk about exactly, give you some tips and tidbits. So now, look, hey, if you're joining in, you're like, hey, I don't want to hear about fantasy. I don't know why you wouldn't. Who wouldn't want to hear from Jason Fontenelle? But, maybe about mortgages. Look, it's simple. Go over to YouTube, type in Mortgage Gumbo. Over 650 hours of videos. 650 hours is there for you to help educate. You could go to mortgagegumbo.com. You could go to snapsendandsave.com. So many people are like, man, you just make it too easy to get to you. Sometimes that's a little bit of a burden, but that's what we're here for. I enjoy this. This is what I enjoy doing, is making sure that I'm educating the public on exactly everything that we have going on. So for the sake of time, Dave, let's knock out our weekly segment we like to call Rate Watch. All right, folks, so we're talking about rates and seeing what's going on. Here's where we're at. Our 30-year conventional, 6.43. 6.43. Okay, give you an idea. On June 29th, we were at 7.07. Okay, 7.07. Last November, we were at 7.97. 7.97. So you have got a ton of opportunity that's presenting itself. And that's why, like we said, buying, refinancing, maybe something you want to take advantage of as the market starts to open up. That believe me, the competition will be there. The competition's going to be there. So 30-year, 6.43. 15-year, 5.95. FHA, 5.82. Jumbo, 6.62. And then VA is at 5.83. So what that's telling you folks right now, the government loans, your FHAs and your VAs, there's plenty of opportunity there right now. Plenty of opportunity. We're doing quite a bit of cash out refinances, taking people from 7.5, getting them into 5s right now with some of our FHA products. Some folks are even getting cash out. We're getting them into 5. So you've got to be aware. Make sure that you work with somebody that has those different programs, and make sure that you have somebody that's looking out for your best interest, not theirs. Okay? It's been a tough go in this industry, a tough go the last couple years. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. When you hire somebody, you expect them to do a job that they are looking out for you. What we've been through in the industry, again, not your concern, right? Nobody was boo-hooing when 20 and 21, when the rates were 2.5%, correct? So, keep your small microphone, whatever it is, your little, crybaby record play and all that. I'm with you, and I'm in the industry. I agree 100%. It's now more important, whether it's a lender or a realtor, that they earn and show you the value. The giveaways should be over with. People should have to earn your business. And, what's going on with the realtors and stuff like that, hey, it's making that it's a whole different ballgame. As a lender, I've always had to show you my value, right? We've always had to do that. And now when you're looking at it, it's the same for the realtors, right? And most of them do that. But like, to use the stat we had last week, and this is a huge one. This is a huge one. 49% of realtors, 49% did 0 to 1 loan in the last year transaction. So is that who you want to be working with right now in this market? Is that who you want representing you? We could see, I've already seen in the 2 weeks that this has been live, folks losing deals because the realtors don't know how to present them, how to put it together, and that's the things that we want to make sure that we are looking out for you. That's what we do here at Mortgage Gumbo. Now, today we're going to have a little bit of fun with our fantasy football segment, but, this is what we do. So, again, we're easy to find. MortgageGumbo.com or shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. You can go to snapsendandsave.com. You can head over to YouTube, type in Mortgage Gumbo, and then there's educational videos. Everything that you need is there for you. Okay, so we've got you covered, whether it's purchasing, refinancing, renovation, construction, reverse mortgages, paying back people 6-7% right now on lines of credit. It's amazing. It is amazing. But it's a unique product that it takes time for somebody to get their head around and to understand specifically how it works. I do that for you, right? I tell everybody, when you call me, you're not getting Magnum PI. You're getting me, who's here locally, who knows exactly how to explain things to you, doesn't send you off to somebody to where let them sell you. You're going to deal with me locally. We're going to sit down. We're going to go over everything. I'm going to encourage you to have your family there, your children there, whoever that you want. I want it to be a party so everybody explains the great things that we're doing when it comes to a reverse mortgage. So, all right, folks, stick around. On the other side of the break, he's here. And fantasy football is what we will be getting into the rest of the hour. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995. Testing. Test. You hear it? Yeah, that's fine. All right. Welcome back. to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. That music can mean only one thing. The official start of the NFL season is upon us. And probably more importantly for many of us, fantasy football. You get to be the expert. You get to pick your team. And who better to bring on every single year than Jason Fontenelle, who is a local fantasy expert, in his opinion anyway. So we bring him on. Yeah. Let him hear it. Thank you. He appreciates that. He loves any type of applause for sure. So, the season's here, right, Jason? We look forward to this every single year. Got to start off by asking, how many leagues are you in this year?
8.
8 leagues?
Yes.
Wow.
Sorry about that. It's busy out there. I just got back from enshrinement in Callan Park Hall of Fame last night.
Nice.
Me, yourself,
Yeah.
Craig Wan, we all got for non-biddy
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Well, I know we
second quarter team
for
Yes.
us. Yeah, absolutely. And
so it's exciting weekend.
Yeah. We need to ask if Rip Hole's in the Rebel Hall of Fame.
I'm gonna say no.
I doubt it.
Him and Sean Smith. No,
negative. So, all right, let's get into, because this is a big deal, man. Lots of folks love fantasy football. It allows the normal person to feel part of something. I like it. For me, what I like is, I don't feel like I got to bet as much because now you've got involvement with so many other teams. It's you don't want to root against your own folks, so to speak, right? Because you're bringing in all these. And for folks who are maybe listening to the show, you tuned into Gumbo Nation to hear that rates are falling and it's a great time to buy and refinance. This is a fantasy football show, and for those who don't understand, fantasy football gives you the opportunity to create a league where you pick a team, and you get quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, kickers, defenses, and you pick somebody from every team, and you try to make the best team possible. You are an owner. They call you a fantasy football owner. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get into, in our first segment here, let's just kind of, and this is one of the things that everybody asks for, because what is just your top, give us your top players, your top 10 players overall, right? Then we'll get into the position, so to speak. But who is your top 10 players that you've got on your board? So, folks, if you're listening, hey, this is not who's going to go 1 through 10. Well, who probably should go 1 through 10. You're not going to get all these folks, but this is going to kind of give you an idea here.
Yeah, my top 10, it starts with Christian McCaffrey. Look, he had career highs in everything. Rushing yards, touchdowns 21, touches 339. Look, he's got 39 touchdowns in 32 games with 49. He's number 1 by far. 2, we go CeeDee Lamb. He signed that big contract, $136 million, $38 million guaranteed. He was 32% of the team's accounted receptions last year. They did nothing in the offseason. All they got is a tight end and Brandon Cooks over there, so look for more from him.
And brought back Ezekiel Elliott from 2 years, so that's not good.
He's going to be the guy again.
Good point.
3, I got Tyreek Hill. Look, the guy in the last 2 years has 401 more yards than any other wide receiver in the league. He has over 20 touchdowns over 35 yards. That's crazy.
And he has to produce because he's got 3 kids from 3 different women this year pregnant.
Yeah, he has a lot of bills.
He's got. I always look for. I like my employees to be in debt. This is Miami's excited about this.
I wouldn't co-sign nothing for that guy right there. So,
right.
See what he did right there.
Yeah, I like that. Way to bring it together.
So we'll go with number 3, Breece Hall. He led all running backs with 76 receptions last year. Second in yards. But look, this was with no quarterback. I don't know. They had a revolving door. I don't even know what happened to that guy they had last year. They got a Hall of Famer in there now. He's the back. He's the guy. Number 5 is Jamar Chase. I'm not being a homer here, but look, hey, we talked about it this morning. Arguably the best duo in the league when both of them are healthy. If they're both healthy, look, he averages over 8 yards, 8 catches a game. He has over 107 yards and 5 touchdowns when they're healthy the last 7 games.
We just got to get him to sign, right?
Yeah.
You got to get in camp.
Yeah,
quick.
he's in camp, but he's just
not.
kind of watching like
Yeah.
what we are.
Yeah.
Ahmad St. Brown, look, he is the same when he's on the field, man.
Dude's automatic.
Dude, he caught, in the last 3 years, he's caught 27 more passes than anybody in the history of the NFL in their first 3 seasons in a year. In the last 2 seasons, Detroit's averaged 266 yards a game and have had 29 and 30 touchdowns in the last 2 years. So expect big things out of him. He's averaged in touchdowns, targets, yards, receptions. His averages have went up every game and every year. All right, so we got number 7, Bijan Robinson. Situation's better for him. New head coach there said he's the guy. He's going to get the ball. Even though they started him off slow his rookie year, he was in the top 5 in running backs with catches, targets, and touchdowns. So look, big things out of him. Look, Justin Jefferson kind of fell off the map when he got hurt last year.
Yeah.
But when he was healthy, he was averaging over 8 catches a game, 136
I think
yards.
he still got to 1,000 yards, too, even with the 5 quarterbacks and being hurt, missing 6-7 games.
And the quarterback's gone, which, that's a big thing because,
Sure.
Say what you want about Cousins. He's top 10 every year, and he's always putting the ball where it needs to be. But, look, Kevin O'Connell, great head coach over there. Look what he did with Dobbs and Nick Mullins.
Yeah, I mean, the last week of the season, they were playing to go to the playoffs with 4 different quarterbacks. And I think if I'm Sam Darnold, who's their quarterback this year, the first person I'm looking for when the ball snapped is Justin Jefferson.
And I'm saying, and he was with Frisco, so they were giving him a shot over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think good things going to happen. Number 9, I got A.J. Brown. Look, him and Devontae Smith signed in April this year at the same time, but he's the contract for the same amount of years, 5 years. But his was $7 million more than Devontae Smith's. So that tells you what the Eagles think of him. And he's top 10 wide receiver every year. And my last one, number 10, is Garrett Wilson. This year, if he stays healthy, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the best quarterback he's ever played with. And then if Tyrod Taylor's in there, that'd be the second best quarterback he's ever played with. Look, the guy had nobody the last 2 years. He's had over 1,000 yards every year. 8+ targets every game. Look, big things out of him this year as well.
So that's a strong list. So who's maybe like right outside your top 10? Like who's maybe your next dude, right? Like, all right, hey, I gotta throw somebody else in there. Like, there's a guy like Pacheco with the Chiefs. Is he a guy that's moved up, or is that just sort of, is it you go with somebody from Kansas City? So when you're doing these top 10s, and a lot of this, I'm assuming too, is these are PPR leagues, which is points per reception, right? Obviously, that's why you wide out. So for those who may be new to fantasy, points per PPR means points per reception. What that means is every time somebody catches the ball, you get a point for that. So, hey, if they catch a 20-yard pass, you get a point for the catch, and then, a point or two, depending on what your rules are on that. So that is good stuff there. So that's your top 10. Who's maybe, you know what? Let's do this. Who is your, let's get into let's find out who your sleepers are.
Okay, we can go that way. My sleepers are, what I'm going with this year. It's usually I'm gonna say sleepers, but there's the boring players. Your cheap volume guys. They might be on top of the board or in the second round, maybe third, fourth, fifth, sixth round. These guys are gonna help you win your league.
Yeah.
They high volume guys, cheap volume. They got like I'm not being Alvin Kamara. Look. I'm a homer, season ticket holder, 29
Yeah, he's not
years.
a top 10 guy anymore. He always used to live on that list, right?
He averaged 5.8 catches a game. Derek Carr's the check down king. Look, man, he had 75 catches last year. Everything was in career lows last year. Yards 466, reception yards 649, but he finished the top 11, in running backs. So you would never know. Najee Harris is another guy. He was top of the board. Nobody thinks of him, but Arthur Smith gets fired from Atlanta. He was with Derrick Henry all them years over there. Look, and then Derrick Henry, I'm getting into him. Look, this guy, he's probably my sleeper of the year
Okay.
because he's in a better situation, better team. He's been with the terrible Titans for how long now?
And now he went to
Baltimore Ravens.
the Ravens.
He's with Lamar Jackson. He's going to open so many lanes up for Derrick Henry. Let me tell you something, Derrick. He's been in the league 6 years. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards every year, 10-plus touchdowns every year. And in 2021, he broke his foot and still hit all them numbers. This dude's going to be an animal in Baltimore. So I would definitely scoop him up if I could. And look, Joe Mixon, man, look. Cincinnati left him out. They didn't want to pay him the contract, but Houston said, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to pay you $8.5 million a year. But look, this dude's going to be in a great offense. He's going to be in a good situation there as well. And look, he had 37 touchdowns in 47 games in Cincinnati. That's pretty good.
That's really good, and he's a guy that produced, right? I mean, I know I've had him on the teams in the past. So, all right, I know you went through your top 10. Let's talk about if you had to, because it seems like what I'm hearing is the number 1 and the number 9 picks are almost set in stone in every league. And the number 1 has been Christian McCaffrey, and somehow number 9, they said the 2 most set players, number 9 has been A.J. Brown, which number 9 was A.J., and that's why I was kind of, because I've been listening to that, and that was number 9 out of your 10 as well. But they saying 2 through 8 kind of goes any which way, right? But for you, if you have been, what has been your average pick? You've been in 8 leagues so far. What has been where you've had a pick from to this point?
Well, to this point, my average has probably been around the middle, 6, 7.
So who do you see, right? Because number 1, all right, great, I'm getting Christian McCaffrey. Who are you seeing when you're at that 5 or 6?
Well, here's what I tell you. This is my keys to success. This is the things, I've heard in the show in the past. The data does not lie.
Right.
We've said that before.
Yeah,
I've heard
that's
it in many
right. Yeah,
shows.
that's right.
So I'm taking that from someone. Look, draft your team. You go on a strategy. You have your guy. Draft your team. Let the draft come to you. Let it fall where it does. Because you'll have a run on quarterbacks. You have a run on running backs. You have a run on wide receivers. And whatever way it runs to you, you go that way. And then, look, and I'll go both ways. If it runs on running backs, I like wide receivers because, look, if you look at it, like I said, the data doesn't lie. Every year, running backs miss two games a year on average.
Oh, wow.
Wide receivers miss 1 game a year on average. So I like that too. And then with running backs, if you go that way, it's easier to find a wide receiver during a year than it is a running back because you don't have them cowbell running backs anymore. It's all committees or they're just throwing somebody in at a block.
That's true, yeah. So what you're saying is when in doubt, go with that wide out if you can, in a PPR league. Right, but let the draft come to you. I like that. In other words, don't reach. Right, don't.
Always your best available. I mean,
yeah,
because there's a saying, and it's true. It falls true every year. You can't win the draft with your first pick because you sure can
lose it. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, I see. Got Richie Rip. He's saying take a quarterback first round. I hope you do.
He does every
I
year.
hope you do.
Troy Aikman's out there.
I hope you do. Yeah. All right, folks, on the other side of the break, we got him in studio, fantasy football, local fantasy football expert, as Gigi put on the Sherper. The fantasy football Sherpa is in studio. So if you're tuning in to hear about great mortgage rates, how low they are, should I buy right now, refinance? Yes, you should, but go to mortgagegumbo.com for that. If you want some more, taking a little break, helping you win some money outside of mortgages today, we've got Jason Fondell, local fantasy expert. So stick around. We get to wideouts and running backs and QBs still to come. Mortgage Gumbo, Dwayne Stein on iHeartRadio. The captain in the house. That's a great question, Captain Charlie. Jason, Captain Charlie wants to know, by the way, Bayou Charters, #1 outfit locally. Not a better place.
It's the greatest.
Don't fish by yourself. Fish Bayou Charters.
It's the greatest.
The best. Throw in also a plug for T-shirt Po' Boy. Amazing job. Just got my aprons this week. Fantastic. Overall, just good people. But here's Charlie's question. We'll call this a little during a break question. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of sideline players, which he perfected? Charlie was amazing at that. They don't play, but they stand on the sidelines and get paid. Are they important to the overall health of the players?
Well, look, my thing.
Here we go.
All right.
We're live.
Great questions by Captain Charlie. Some other folks that we've got in. This is if you tuned in for Mortgage Gumbo, head over to mortgagegumbo.com. Taking a little break this week. It's Labor Day weekend, which means fantasy football in studio. Local fantasy football expert Jason Fontenelle. So got some questions during the break, and one of the questions is, and I know you cover this, but let's just knock it out right now, and then we'll get it to the wideouts. Who do you need to be aware of? Who are your potential busts? I know you cover this every year, and you call it pretty much on the money every year. Who are you looking at? John wants to know, who are your busts this year that you should be keeping an eye on?
Well, I'm definitely going to go with Aaron Jones. Green Bay let him go. They, he hit the last 5 games of the year, he averaged 100 yards, including the playoffs. But, let's not forget, before that, he was averaging 3.7 yards per carry. Couldn't stay on the field, splitting time with A.J. Dillon, and that wasn't just last year. That was years prior to that. And I think the situation in Minnesota is a little worse. The offense won't be as good with Sam Darnold over there.
Yeah.
And they're going to be throwing the ball more. So I think he's going to be drafted too high.
All right, Aaron Jones, give me one more.
I'll go with George Kittle, man. I love George Kittle, great NFL tight end. I think he's going to be drafted too high, being that he's more of a blocker. He's going to be blocking for, Christian McCaffrey, and there's a lot of mouths to feed over there. So he's not going to get the ball as much as you would like.
Especially with Ayuk just on. How in the world?
Yeah.
How in the world do you give that guy $30 million? Whatever, though. Okay, all right. So let's get into your top 10. Let's get into wide receivers, right? And this is, look, when we're doing this, we're talking about PPR leagues, points per reception. Give us your top 10. We've already shared with you top 10 overall. Give us so you're going to hear some of these names. Give us your top 10 wide receivers.
Top 10 wide receivers. We'll go with CeeDee Lamb, #1. We talked about him earlier, which I'll say differently this time. Last year, in his last 13 games, he averaged 9 catches, 116 yards, and had 13 TDs in 13 games. That's a run you'll never see. He set records, NFL history records. Look, they paid him the money. Dallas, he's going to be the guy. Let's go right there. #2, Tyreek Hill. We talked about him earlier, too. Hill has 120 more targets than Waddle. If you're worried about Waddle being over there, splitting with him in the last 2 years, he's been over there. So don't worry about that. Tyreek Hill is the guy, whether it's short, long, deep, at the goal line with the run rounds. Hey, he's your guy. Jamar Chase, all I'm going to say about him, I could go through all the numbers. Best quarterback duo in the league if they stay healthy. Yeah. He is your guy. Amon St. Brown, talked about him earlier. Look, I'll tell you a stat about Detroit that you're not going to know either. Last year, indoor games in that offense, they averaged 20 or more points a game in indoor games. This year, out of their 17 games, they play 14 games indoors.
Wow.
So that's going to tell you how much points there. And look, in an offense, where you draft players in the draft, whether it's late rounds, early rounds, if you got them in offenses in good situations, you're going to score more points. It's as simple as that. #5, Justin Jefferson. Man, like I said, if he stays healthy, he's your guy. He was averaging over 8 yards a catch. The only down on him is only got 31 TDs in 60 career games, but I'll take my chances with him.
Yeah.
#6, A.J. Brown. In the 2 years in Philadelphia, he's averaged 5.7 catches, 87 yards, and 18 touchdowns in his 34 games in Philadelphia. Back-to-back top 10 years as a wide receiver. they paid him the money too. Number 7, Garrett Wilson. I love this guy. When he does interviews talking about Aaron Rodgers, he's giddy. He's so happy to be anywhere near Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be catching balls. Gonna be on the field with him. He was Rookie of the Year in 2022. Look out, great things for this guy. Puka Nua, number 8. He set all kind of records last year as a rookie. Nico Collins, number 9. He's going to be in a great situation and a great offense. And number 10, Marvin Harrison. He's a rookie.
Really?
6'3",
Okay.
209. Look, he's at Ohio State in 2 years. He averaged 17.2 yards a catch, 144 yards a game, and 24 TDs in 2 years. I expect big things out of him.
All right, so as a local guy, let me just ask you, like, where's an Olave at? Is he a mid-round guy?
Olave, he's out. So he's a 12 or 13.
Okay.
He's the guy, but I expect a lot of double, triple teams on him this year.
Right, because it's kind of like, what else do you have, right?
Yeah.
So I get that. All right, one of the things that let me sort of ask you this. Do you have this year, and I say do you have, even though I know this is what, I mean, the stats that you throw out are amazing. What about strength of schedule? Who has that's always something I know that you kind of preach when you're looking at things like the Detroit being, you think Detroit, oh, crappy weather, this, that, and the other, but they indoors 14 of 17 games. What about, like, strength of schedule? Who out there that you need to be, because this is where you can win in a 6th, 7th, 8th round when you've got somebody. So kind of tell us, like, maybe top 3 weakest or hardest schedules, however you've got it ranked.
Yeah, like I say, great situations for teams and players, and this is something you're talking about. Hardest schedules, easiest schedules. Atlanta's got the easiest schedule. Pittsburgh's got the hardest schedule. And believe it or not, the Saints are number 5 with the easiest schedule. We'll go down Atlanta, the Chargers number 2, Bears number 3, the Jets number 4, and the Saints are number 5. Also, I'll look at the best offensive lines with running backs. You want that, and quarterbacks as well. Protection, healthier. Philadelphia has the best line rated, then Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Green Bay. And then, I also want to look at, too, Vegas is big, which, all the betting sites out there, back in the day with your brother Days and all that.
Yeah.
We go way back, the Puerto Rico days, stuff like that.
Right.
But Vegas has got everything out there. So they got win totals. So, the win totals, you can see who's predicted to do terrible, who's going to be predicted to have a lot of hope and opportunity.
And betting's legal now, so hey, you want to leave.
Especially in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So the worst teams out there, you got Carolina and the New England Patriots at 4.5 wins. So they predicted them not to even win 5 games. So stay away from guys like that. And then the best is Frisco, Baltimore, and Kansas City at 11.5. So that's your teams you want to look at.
Awesome. Okay. Good stuff there. All right. Still to come on the other side of the break, we're going to get to QBs and running backs. QBs and running backs. Do not go anywhere. Fantasy football expert Jason Fontenelle in studio. More to come on the other side. Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. All right, so let's answer Captain Charlie's question there, talking a little bit about players that stand on the sideline and get paid. What was you had a thought going in, and then we went live. So
Look, he's known as the Hall of Famer. Fisherman, Charterman.
he is in the St. Bernard Parish Hall of Fame.
Can't take that away from him, but we knew him as the Bobby Boucher before they made the movie with Adam Sandler. He was Chamette's Bobby Boucher. I mean, he had a perm. Didn't he wore a cheerleader outfit for Halloween one time?
Yes, he did.
So, yeah,
but that I don't mess around with because
yeah.
if anybody goes back and looks at what we
Yeah, I gotta show.
So we don't hold that against.
But no, just to answer his question, he was definitely a great sideline player.
He was amazing.
He was great.
Great friend.
He
great,
held his.
great to
He never dropped
with.
his helmet ever. He
shoulder,
held it tight.
The shoulder pads
His
slapping when he
uniform,
ran.
Always
down.
crisp.
Always.
The starch never came out.
Never.
The pants.
Never. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, what's up, Tabitha? How you doing, young lady? Tabitha Godwin saying hello to Jason. Glad we got quite a bit of people here tuning in. Everybody trying to look how to make an extra buck. Why not? Look at fantasy football to do that. Good stuff there. Hey, if you want to check this out before you draft, I know a lot of people draft kind of the last couple of days before. And that's why we do this show. We used to do it, Jason, if you remember, like a month out, but people get hurt. Now nobody plays but somebody would get hurt. Then you lose your running back or your QB. Look, people get cut, traded, all of a sudden.
With the contracts,
that
like
contract,
getting signed and
yeah.
not signed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because these books come out like in the summer,
Yeah.
so it's not.
Yeah.
It's not up to date.
Yep.
Like me. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. This is not a fluke. I get paid to come in here. I mean, it's a busy schedule, but I find time
You always
to
do.
come in here for you.
8 leagues.
And yeah, it's ridiculous out there. Times are hard in St. Bernard.
Looks like we've got Steve Ripple trying to get Captain Charlie saying, I need a partner for my fantasy draft. That would be
30
even.
seconds.
That's a great partner.
That would be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Just make sure that check's clear. Because that's giveaway. So we know Ripple is going to take a quarterback first. All right, we're about to head back live. So, look, when we get back live here, we'll knock out, let's do running backs first and then quarterbacks. Sound good?
Sounds good.
A little behind the scenes here. Mortgage Gumbo. Oh, man. If that doesn't fire you up, great stuff there. Welcome back. Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. Fantasy football weekend. It's Labor Day weekend while you're chilling on the beach like the Gags are doing, having a little Mai Tai or maybe a little Bloody Mary to get your day started. I'm glad to have you here chatting with us as local fantasy expert Jason Fontenelle in studio. So let's get into running backs. Kind of give us this our final segment here. Give us your, and he's playing hurt, folks. By the way, he's playing hurt. I mean, he's sucking down hot water, mints. It's a whole thing going on during the breaks here. So we're gonna quarantine this thing. Should have put a mask on. All right, let's go over top 10 running backs.
Okay.
Keep it together here,
Let's
pal.
go now. Come on now. Hey now. Let's go see Christian McCaffrey. Look.
Enough said. Move on.
Enough said. Look.
Yeah. Move on.
339 touches. Come
Yeah.
on, man. What do you want? That 21 TDs last year. He had like 11, 13 games in a row where he scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Broke a record. They're a Super Bowl contender too. Come on, man. I mean,
Yeah.
look, they're gonna be again. Shanahan. Okay, yeah. Enough said.
Right.
Brees Hall, he's your guy. He's healthier, better offensive line. You put the Hall of Famer back there. Look, lights out. He's gonna check down. He catches the ball.
Yeah.
A lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns.
I like
They're
that
not
guy.
taking him from the goal line. None of that stuff. B.J. Robinson, he's the guy this year. He had 976 yards rushing last year with limited time, splitting with that guy Tyler Algier. That's not happening this year. Look, Zach Robinson's the offensive coordinator there this year in Atlanta. He comes from the Rams. Look what he did. Kareem Williams last year, the rookie
Yeah.
last year, and then Rams. Look what he's going to do with Robinson. Lights out. Jamal Gibbs.
Ooh, I like that.
Love this guy. He splits time with Montgomery, which, I'm okay with that. But look, here's the deal. Dude had 234 touches last year, and I know you didn't know that. But fantasy last year, the last 2 years, Detroit has rushed for 60 touchdowns last year in the last 2 years. So they rushed the ball every year.
And he's a pass option for them as well with Goff.
When they inside the goal line, yeah. Top in 6 weeks, he was in the top 3 running backs last year. So Jamal gets big things out of him. Number 5, Saquon Barkley. Look, better offensive line, probably the best in the league. Giants had nobody, they had nothing. He's going into a better situation. Elite team, elite quarterback. You might get scared because there's a lot of mouths to feed over there, but he's going to be the guy over there.
And you said top offensive line, right? So it goes back to the little things you got to look at. So
when this guy's healthy, man, yeah. he does it all, man. So look for big things. Number 6, I got JT, Jonathan Taylor, man. Look, he is the ball. He's in top 10 rushing when he's healthy every year. Taylor averages 2.7 yards after the contact. This guy is ridiculous, man. Bad offensive line as well. Number 7, I said it earlier, Derrick Henry, man. Everything is better for him. They're going to be contending for a Super Bowl over there as well this year. Last year had 12 TDs, averaged 4.2 yards a carry, led the NFL with 280 carries last year, 6 straight years, 1,000 yards, 10-plus touchdowns. Man, Lamar Jackson's just going to open the lanes for him this year. Look out. I talked about him earlier, Kareem Williams. He had averaged 99 yards rushing last year, 20 yards receiving. He had 13 TDs last year in 11 games. Sean McVay offense, dude, this is his 3rd year over there. He loves feeding running backs, man. Matthew Stafford looks like he's getting better with age, man. I look for big things out of them again. I think they might compete for a Super Bowl this year over there with the Rams. They may be a sleeper team. I said it. And Isaiah Pacheco, man. Look, this is a little fun fact nobody knows. Kansas City picked him 11 picks before San Francisco picked Brock Purdy. And look, everybody talks about Brock Purdy, but look what Pacheco's doing over there. In 2 years, that dude has rushed for 2,740 yards, 14 TDs, 2 Super Bowl rings, averaged 107 yards rushing, 70% of the offensive snaps in that offense. Last year alone, 20.2 touches a game in that offense. I look for huge numbers out of this guy. He might be one of the top 3 running backs in the year this year. I said it here as well. Pacheco, big year.
Nice. All right, let's head over to the QBs, man. The QBs used to be just so valued and so important, and still is, right? So give us your top 10 QBs, and then
okay, top 10 QBs. Josh Allen definitely number 1. I'm always with quarterbacks. Ever since I've been playing fantasy, I love the dual threat. So I'm gonna be heavy on dual threat quarterbacks because you get points for rushing as well as the passing points as well. But Josh Allen, he's been the number 1 fantasy guy the last 2 years in points. He's had the most points in fantasy by any player the last 2 years. Also, him and Jalen Hurts tied an NFL record together last year with 15 rushing touchdowns. Money in the bank with Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts, enough said there. He stays healthy. So many weapons over there. You got Kellen Moore that came from Dallas, and he was with San Diego, the Chargers. He's coming over there. I look for big things out of him. MVP, 2 years. Lamar Jackson, love him. Got Derrick Henry over there, big things out of there.
Yep.
C.J. Stroud, he don't run as much, but they put more weapons over there for him. As a rookie, he had a league high 274 yards passing, and he's got added more weapons. Like I said, fifth rookie in NFL history to throw for 4,000 yards. Kyler Murray.
What about Pat Mahomes?
Pat Mahomes, I have him as number 4.
Okay.
I put him. I passed him up.
That's a given, right? You taking Patrick Mahomes.
He had his worst year numbers last year, but he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Big year out of him.
What about the guy that got hurt last year? He was on a tear as well. He actually beat C.J. Stroud earlier in the season with the Colts. Anthony Richardson, is he in your top 10?
He's in my top 10, but it's a little scary. They got him rated high, but
he's got a little more to prove.
He's got a lot to prove. But the games that he played last year, the 3 games that he did play, he threw for 577 yards. He had 3 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns with 146 yards rushing. And so, but he's a dice you want to roll with him.
All right. So I know you were getting to. So let's finish out that top 10. You had. You okay, bro? You need me to step in?
I'm running out of gas.
You okay, pal? All right, so let's talk about because 8 fantasy drafts, dude. You probably, all right, so Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray is my number 7. Dual threat, love him. Joe Burrow at number 8.
Yeah.
Gotta stay healthy, man.
Yeah.
In 5 full games last year, he averaged 296 with 12 TDs, man. Big season out of him if he stays healthy. Better offensive line, man.
No doubt.
Dak Prescott, number 9. His 9th season was his best year last year. 36 touchdowns, over 4,500 yards passing. Dude, second in MVP voting.
Look, I hate I hate Dallas, but Dak Prescott is a heck of a fantasy football quarterback,
he's
dude.
He's from Louisiana, baby. He's Homer.
Absolutely.
And
I got that bum on my team, too.
Dude, CeeDee Lamb is the guy. Look, you drafting CeeDee Lamb high in the draft. Look,
double up.
You gotta love Dak, dude. And he runs a little bit too, And they're not gonna have a running game, so they're gonna be throwing the ball at him. And then I go with Jordan Love at number 10, man. He can throw the deep ball. He's got young wide receivers everywhere. Got a good tight end in Musgrove over there. His last 11 games, he averaged 264 yards. With the playoffs as well, 25 TDs and only 5 interceptions.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because Dave just brought up a good point. A couple questions I got for you. Number one is, we hate Atlanta. We hate Dallas. But you can't let it – you got to pretend like you're the owner of a team, right? You can't get personal, right, when you're making these drafts. And be like, I'm not picking somebody from Atlanta. Look, if Bijan Robinson's there when I'm picking, I'm grabbing him.
Divorce yourself from your heart, man.
Okay, divorce from your heart. Now, here's the other question I got for you. What is your thoughts on partnering up, meaning a wide receiver and a quarterback, or a wide out and a running back, both from the same teams?
I don't like it. I've done it in the past, and I don't like it. And the reason being is if
the reward's not enough for the risk.
Because one or the other is going to have a good week. Well, if you have a Patrick Mahomes and a Pacheco, he's going to have a great day throwing the ball, and he's not going to have a good day rushing.
That's amazing, man.
If he has 4
and they
TDs,
have a bye week too, which screws you out of points.
Yeah.
Well,
they
and
just
hey,
have a bad week.
And that's a great point with the bye weeks, and I think also one of the things, Dave, you just brought up. Make sure as you're filling out your roster, make sure you're looking at those bye weeks. You got to make sure that you are checking that out, because
20.
You don't want to put somebody. Jason Fontenelle, thank you so much. I know you played hurt
10
today.
Years, 10 years.
10 years today. Stick around. Maybe we'll have a little mid-season. We'll see. Till next week, Gumbo Nation. Keep stirring.